It's eternal authenticity, broadcasting live. The one and only Sky Blackwell. Eternal authenticity, Sky Blackwell. Eternal authenticity. Click the like button. Like this video. Like this video. Sky Blackwell. Eternal authenticity. Grand Rising. I'm doing the audio message. But yes, my message I want to talk about today: wake up in peace, wake up in harmony, wake up in peace and harmony, wake up in stillness. That's what I want to talk about. Wake up in peace, wake up in harmony, wake up in stillness. Now let me elaborate on this topic. Wake up in peace. You know, that's very important. When we wake up, I'm thanking God. Thank you, God. I have so many reminders to thank God. Literally, Bibles, written word of me thanking God, and just my own intrinsic motivation. I'm always thanking God and connected to God. And I'm aware that I'm a free spirit. I'm a free spirit created by God. You know, I'm a true child of God, and I'm free forever. I'm here to live this happy, fun, healthy, lovely, abundant, rich life. So I'm waking up in peace. Yes, Sky Blackwell, eternal authenticity. Instead of me waking up in chaos and worry and stress, no, I'm choosing to wake up in peace. You know, I'm choosing to wake up in peace because that's best for my health, and it's best to impact the environment in a positive way. So peace, harmony, harmony, being conscious of our energy, being a more harmonious energy. Instead of waking up and rushing to the telephone, or rushing to go get some fast food, or rushing to get some donuts, or rushing to get, whatever, rushing to go make money. I wake up in harmony. It doesn't mean you have to be slow and lazy. I'm just saying you just wake up with a harmonious spirit where you're like, hey, you know what? Instead of me being so rigid and jaded and heavy and so, rough and tough, instead I'm going to move gracefully. I'm going to wake up in a harmonious, peaceful way with God, our creator, because God is divine. So let me wake up in a respectful way, peace, harmony, tranquility, you know what I'm saying? Stillness. What do I mean by stillness? Stillness, that's common sense. You could wake up and you could start praying. A lot of times, that's really recommended. You could meditate, you could pray, maybe you could listen to some type of special binaural beats, high frequencies, 432 hertz, or some type of, meditation music, or some type of maybe soundtrack, or some type of like inspirational, montage, or some type of audio track, or whatever, wisdom, or something that gets you focused and still in the zone, in a good mood for the day, but stillness is good. Like, I love waking up. I love wake and bake, I love the herb. I love, to smoke. I love to just, go for a walk. I love to just to count my blessings before, I'm up and showering, and before I'm up and, getting dressed and rushing out the door and everything like that. I'm taking it easy. I'm recollecting myself. I'm gathering myself, what I've been processing throughout life, what I've been processing through dreams, what I'm working on in my personal day-to-day life. I have to have a routine, a plan that I'm focused on. I have a special, unique agenda. I have a special, unique, custom, personalized agenda every day, so I'm staying productive. So I'm getting right with myself. I'm getting right with God, and I'm being still. Instead of me being on these social media apps, 30 First thing in the morning, first thing in the rising, I'm making sure I'm getting my mind right. Because the social media, is a distraction. Yes, you can use social media as a tool. Yes, it's great. You can interact with people. We can learn stuff. We can collaborate. We can socialize, network, cool, yada yada, whatever. Social media is social media, but it is a big distraction. And the phone, this is real talk. It will zap your energy. The social media, the technology, the phones, the television, the computers, all this stuff is going to drain your energy, it's going to zap your energy, and it's going to distract you from your true purpose. All these people talking online, strangers, they don't even know what they're talking about. Most of these people are whack as hell. Most of these people are lame and foolish in real life. But everybody wants to talk about nothing. And you just want to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. And it's like an endless ocean of distraction and illusion. Yes, there's some positive things on social media. Yes, the phone and technology is a good tool for us to use at times. But as far as first thing of the day, our first priority needs to be connecting with our creator, connecting with God. That's before a telephone, before a computer. Okay. And I'm talking about the actual scientific, physical benefits, health benefits of abstaining from your phone, abstaining from technology, abstaining from the television and the computer all day, or just first thing of the day. You will have so much more creative energy when you're just in your zone. You're washing yourself up, you're brushing your teeth, you're showering, you're doing your laundry, you're sweeping, you're cleaning, you're vacuuming, you're tidying up your space. You're writing, you're doing your affirmations, you're working on your hygiene, you're doing some exercise, etc., etc. This is what really is matters. You're investing into love. You're channeling your heart towards your special person. You're opening your heart and sending out that love vibration to your special spouse, the one and only. Stuff like that. That's what really matters. But when you wake up and you just instantly just want to scroll, then you just wasted so much time first thing in the day. Like, you just wasted the first part of your day just off of social media right off the bat. That's what most people do. Literally, they don't even live their true life. They're too busy, distracted. People wake up and it's already over. They're already on TV, they're already on the computer, they're already scrolling all these different social medias. And one, you're being distracted. Two, you're procrastinating from your dream. And three, scientifically, you're getting all this radiation and bad effects, bad harmful effects from being on the phone scrolling. It zaps your energy, your mental clarity, your vivid imagery, your dreams, your passion, your enthusiasm, your excitement, your clarity, your pursuits that you're going towards, the visions that God has in your mind, in your heart, all that stuff, it goes out the window once you get into this endless pool of distraction on social media. When you're in this waves and ocean of social media, of scrolling on the phone, on the television, on the computer, you can feel it. I can feel it. It just pulls from my energy. It literally is zapping my energy. It's stealing from my energy. You know what I'm saying? Because it's an artificial device and it's random fake people that there's no real connection. So I prefer real life interactions. I prefer real life people paying me real life big money. Yeah, that's what gives me a lots of energy. That's what gives me a lots of power and a lots of enthusiasm, is when I'm receiving lots of real, tangible, legit cash money. That's what really gets me going. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just being distracted, just talking about nonsense, scrolling all day, does nothing. I'm too busy making real moves. I'm making real mighty moves, mighty money moves. I don't have time to be distracted. And being still when you wake up, that's important. When you wake up, you feel better when you have a clear vision, when you're not instantly just rushing to the phone, searching. No, you have to have a mind of your own. You have to be in tune with your soul's purpose, your life purpose within yourself. That's why I had to realize that this technology is a distraction, and it's zapping our energy dry. So that's why when I wake up, I'm making sure I'm in my own element. I'm in my own zone. There's already enough worldly noise, all types of noise from grumpy, toxic neighbors, from disrespectful people all around, making noise, all types of noises. I'm not even about to run down a list of noise, but you know what I'm talking about. Too much noise. Unbelievable noise. People just don't know how to be at peace. People are addicted to drama and stress. That's why I choose to be off the phone. That's why I choose to go into nature to protect my energy. So peace, harmony, stillness, protect your energy when you wake up and all day. But I'm just giving y'all a reminder because you set the tone first thing in the day. You set the tone first in the day. So if you're going to wake up distracted and drained and lost, then guess what? That's how your day is going to be. Distracted, drained, and lost. But if you choose to wake up with clarity, with passion, with a vision, with focus, with enthusiasm, with excitement, then your day will be better. So that's just some wisdom I want to talk about. Sky Blackwell, turn off my tits. That's something I noticed. Like I'm not saying you gotta say screw the world and never talk to people. I'm just saying like it's critical that you master your time. Pour into yourself. You have to pour into yourself. Pour into your vision. Pour into your dreams that God has placed in your heart. Social media is always going to be there. So that's what I'm saying. Like, notice how you feel. Usually you will feel drained after scrolling. You know what I mean? You will feel drained. It doesn't even matter how many likes or whatever, followers or whatever. It doesn't matter. If you're not whole and complete and healthy within yourself in real life, it doesn't matter. Social media, the phones, your fake life, the television, the material possessions, it doesn't matter. You have to be solid and straight within yourself. You have to be right within yourself and right with God to live a righteous lifestyle. So that's why I have to really talk about, I post, I produce, I post, I inspire, I coach, I teach, I counsel, cool. I interact with people, cool. But at the same time, I'm not being used by this social media. I'm not being caught up all day. I'm actually living a life. I'm going out to nature. I'm making moves. I'm getting fruits. I'm getting vegetables. I'm serving people. I'm actually doing real life work. I'm working on my body. I'm taking care of business. I don't have time to be behind a screen all day. That's very depressing. People that's spending all day indoors, you need to get a life. People that's spending all days behind a screen, you need to get a life. You need to get out. You need to get active, and that may not sound pretty, but this is the truth. You need to get active. You need to get active and get up and get on out. Instead of spectating, watching, lurking, scrolling, spectating, and consuming, start producing, start doing something. You know what I mean? Start doing something. You know what I mean? Because that will help out your life. I'm keeping it real as a coach, as a real healer, life coach, spiritual master. You know, you have to put in the work to see those positive results for your mental health, your spiritual, physical, emotional health. You have to put in that work. You know, part of improving your mental health is eliminating the time, minimizing the time on these gadgets, these devices, the social media, the phones, the technology, the computer, the video games, all that stuff is you're wasting precious time. You're losing your energy, honestly. Okay? I'm speaking from it because I'm able to notice the differences. If I were to be on my phone all day, or especially all during the morning in the rising, or if I was not on the phone, I see the different tangible results. I see the experiences that I went through. Where if I was focused on my vision and my dream, then I'm accomplishing more. But if I get distracted, sidetracked, and I'm just scrolling on the phone or whatever all day on social media stuff, then my day is worse. My energy is low, you know. So I'm just helping y'all out. You have to live real life. You have to live real life. Social media is not real life. You know, social media is not real life. Okay? I hope you understand that. Yes, it's a cool tool. People share some cool stuff. You can connect with people, message people, whatever. But at the same time, it's very deceptive. People show you only what they want you to see. A lot of Photoshop, a lot of AI, a lot of Photoshop, a lot of ego, a lot of narcissism. And people are hiding behind the keyboard regardless. You know what I'm saying? Who are these people in real life? Exactly. Most of these people are whack and lame as hell. All these people that are gassed up and, you know, going so hard for followers and likes. They're trying so hard to impress people. They're flexing. They're posing. They're flexing. They're posing. They're stunting. You know, they're just faking it. They're just faking it. You know, these people are whack as hell in real life. They're nowhere to be found in real life because they're fake. They're on a low frequency. You know, they're not real. You know what I mean? And that's why they live on social media, but they're nowhere to be found in real life interactions in the real world. Face to face, they're nowhere to be found. You can't, these people, these cowards, these scary snake ass people, these cowards, these little clowns, these little puppets, they refuse to answer calls. They run away. They refuse to answer messages. They ignore messages. They're unavailable, and they're just always living a double life. You know, most of those clowns, those false prophets, those fake influencers online, they are just so shady and shallow. Okay, I'm just keeping it 100% real with y'all. Sky Blackwell, Turn Authenticity. That's why I'm always doing YouTube, because this is actually real. This is actually authentic. So thank you, YouTube, for being a phenomenal platform for me to exercise my freedom of speech, and I'm able to inspire people every day for the rest of my life by uploading quality, professional, respectful video messages for the world. You know, so it is what it is. It's a creative outlet. Find your creative outlet. Maybe you like to play the piano. Play the piano when you wake up. Maybe you like to play the flute or the saxophone or the drums or a violin. Play an instrument then when you first wake up, or go for a run, or start painting. Paint a picture or write some pages in your new book. You know, but stop being consumed by these traps, these negative traps, these artificial traps. Where you just see all this negativity, all this drama, all this war, hate, separation, politics, government. It's literally a sickness. It's literally cancer. Literally, social media has turned into cancer. Phones, television, the computer, that has turned into a disease. Literally, people don't want to hear it, but this is the truth. All that fear, all that drama, all that radiation is literally destroying people's health on all levels. You know what I mean? This is the 100% truth. This is one big cause of so many problems in the world. I'm just keeping it for real with y'all. So if you just make an effort just to improve that area of your life, when you wake up in peace. Wake up with a grateful spirit. Wake up with appreciation. Wake up with stillness. Wake up with harmony in a harmonious way. Wake up with a pure heart. Wake up with a kind heart. Wake up with a righteous spirit. Count your blessings. Find something to be grateful for. Wake up with some joy. Wake up with some excitement. Wake up with some passion. Wake up with some passion. Wake up with the serving mindset. You're willing to serve God. So, thank y'all for listening. That's my audio message this rising this morning. Sky Blackwell, Tone Authenticity. I just had to keep it real as always. I'm always the realest of all time. But I want to share some helpful reminders. You can't be stressing out. You can't be stressing out in life. And there's already enough problems, enough drama in the world. So at least set the tone for your day. Set a good, positive tone for your day. Connect with me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at Eternal Authenticity. At Eternal Authenticity. Message me to schedule a consultation. Nutrition and wellness detox consultation. Hit me up for the herbal teas, the sea moss, the plant-based alkaline recipes, and the herbal healing detox knowledge. I got y'all. Find a way to reach out to me and send me some positive vibes. Compensate me, bless me, and I will help you. I'll serve you. At Eternal Authenticity on Instagram. Click the like button. Like this video now. Like this video now. Wake up in peace. Wake up in stillness. Wake up in harmony. Give thanks to the Most High Creator. It's Eternal Authenticity, broadcasting live. Peace.